Hi first graders, it's Mrs. Belatash, and today we're going to take a close look at our terrarium. And I really want us to pay attention to anything that has changed since we planted the seeds and added the animals last week. So here is the terrarium, and wow, a lot has changed. Last week when we planted everything, there were just seeds. Look what has happened in 1 week. Now we're going to take a really close look at the terrarium. The first thing I want you to notice is, do you see there's something on the top of the container? Do you see those things? That is water. And what happened is that, of course, the water was heated up during the day and it evaporated. And then it reached the top of the container on the inside and it condensed. It went from a gas, water vapor, back into liquid, and now there are little drips of water on the inside. Okay, now let's take a close look at the terrarium. I'm going to take the top off. Now let's see how it has changed. What do you notice in the terrarium? Let's look really closely. Did all the plants grow? We planted wheat over here, and this does look like wheat, doesn't it? We planted grass over here, and that looks like grass. They kind of are similar. What did we plant in the middle? We planted alfalfa, and I don't see very much alfalfa. Oh, I see a little sprout there, but I don't see that the alfalfa seeds have grown. Let's look from the side. What do we see that's growing in the soil? We see the roots. We see the roots of the grass. Here's the grass. There's like a little alfalfa plant that has started to grow. I'm going to pick it up and see if I can tip it a little bit. Wow, look at all of the roots that are growing in the terrarium. Those are worms. The worms have crawled out of the soil and they are on the side of the terrarium. I think that they have climbed up some of the grass. What else? What other animals did we put in the terrarium? Let's look closely. Oh, I see some roly-polies, some isopods walking around. I see one walking, and I see that's one has rolled into a ball. I see the snail has burrowed down into the soil. There's the snail. So first graders, will you please take out your science notebook? And one of the things that is so great about our science notebook is that it records what we've been doing. So I'm going to look at what we did last week. Last week, we made the habitat. We made the terrarium. And we made a little map that showed all the materials that we put into the terrarium. And you can see we put in seeds and we put in some animals, but none of the seeds were growing at that point. Now this week, we're going to record all of the changes in the terrarium. So the first thing I did is that I did a little writing about the terrarium. And this is what I wrote. I said the habitat, and make sure you put the date of your notes. And I said our terrarium has changed. And I put an exclamation point because it's really quite remarkable. I said the wheat seeds and grass seeds germinated. Now we have plants. The grass and wheat are tall. The snail has dug into the soil. The isopods are under the leaves. And you can see I crossed something out. That's okay because this is just my science notebook. These are my notes. You can cross things out in your notebook too. It's no big deal. Then I want you to draw a picture of what the terrarium looks like today. It looks quite a bit different. So I still labeled things, right? I labeled the rocks, I labeled the soil, but now I have wheat plants instead of seeds, and I have grass plants instead of seeds. You notice I don't have any alfalfa plants. That's kind of interesting, isn't it? I have the snail that's down in the soil. I have the isopod hiding underneath a leaf. And now I want to take a look at my terrarium and see if it kind of looks like this. I think it kind of does. I guess I need to add this stick because I did not include the stick in my map. Our terrarium is a habitat for both plants and animals. Do the plants have everything they need to grow? Well, the wheat and the grass definitely seem like they have everything they need to grow. The alfalfa did not start to grow. It could be that there's too much water or maybe not enough water for the alfalfa. But the plants have water, they have space, they have sunlight. So the plants have everything they need to grow, at least the grass and the wheat. Now, we need to think about the animals. What do animals need to be healthy and to be safe? Well, animals need food. Do my isopods have food? Yes, they eat dead leaves and plants. So there's plenty of things in here for them to eat. Do my snails, does the snail have food? Yes, it will eat the grass and the leaves too. Do the worms have food? Yes, they also will eat the dead leaves and plants that are inside the terrarium. So our animals have food. Our animals also need shelter. The roly-polies, the isopods, were hiding under the leaves. The snail has burrowed into the soil. The worms are in the soil, and also they were on the side of the container. So animals need a habitat to be safe as well. You guys have done a terrific job today. I'll see you next week, Cougars.